Hey, what it do? It's Van Joe the Monkey Bro, and I'm gonna give a review of the movie Primate. But first, let's break down the plot. Primate starts with a face rip scene that's clearly an homage to the real life victim of Travis the Chimp, but she's still alive. So they're starting with gore and disrespect to the event and person who clearly inspired the movie. Next, there's the intro scene of Lucy and the gang. She meets this fawning boy, and he hits her with a generational pickup line.
Cute little guy, huh?
What's going on with you? What are you talking about?
Next, the gang make it home where Lucy and her sister Erin are about to get the house to themselves with their pet chimp, Ben. The dad is a writer who happens to be deaf, so sign language is known by the daughters and chimp. The sisters meet up, and we see Erin playing Mario Kart 8 on a Switch 1, bro! In 2026? Nintendo paying for this ad space in a chimp kill movie is a wild brand decision, even with the old console. Or maybe it's genius. They want us to associate their old, outdated hardware with death, so we feel repulsed every time we see our own, until we go out and buy a Switch 2. That's the old make it make sense saying coming in clutch. Then we meet Ben, the chimp in question. Yes, you in the back. Why CGI? Great question. Real chimp actors are retired now for obvious reasons, like their own welfare. And plus, when the movie turns to violence, that would probably be hard to shoot with a real fella, so just CGI all the way. I feel like 2011's Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Rip James Franco, can't believe he's dead, was a big pusher in moving away from using real ape actors. When you see CGI Monke, all you gotta think to yourself is, good, no monkey harmed in the making of this movie. Well, maybe not this movie, since it's hurting the reputation of them, but I digress. Or do I? I don't know if it's just me, but there's something about January horror movies looking cheap that can't be described as easily as streaming movies. It looks more expensive than those ones, even though streaming movies have the huge A-list actors. With those, you can say it's bad blocking and flat lighting. But with January theater movies, it's, I don't know, more about editing or something. That, and obviously bad character writing. It just adds up to the whole cheap factor that's so unique to them. Okay, now moving on. There's no real inciting incident. Ben's already infected with rabies because after wigging out on one of the friends, Lucy and Erin's dad checks out Ben's cage to find a dead mongoose that bit him. So our boy is doomed from day one. I thought there would be a moment when someone gives Ben a hit of weed or something, but no. It's funny because as the dad leaves, he says, just give Ben a few days and he'll be right as rain. No, dude! He also says he'll test the mongoose, but that ain't enough. You gotta take him to a vet, bro. Get him out of the house. So they lock Ben up for safety. Then a vet comes to check on Ben, who is visibly sweating, and the doc just leaves the door open. He gets a facelift, and Ben gets out. Our boy Ben is free! Then the gang ties him near a pool, scaring poor Ben. They call the doc and hear his phone ringing nearby. Ben bites Erin, and the gang jump into the pool to get away from Benny Boy. He's still roped up at this point, though, so that was a stupid decision, but hey, I guess in the moment it made sense. Anyway, Ben quickly bites his way out. The guy of the group, Nick, then tries to push Ben off the ledge of their property, which is a cliff edge for some reason, and Ben pulls an Uno reverse, sending Nick flying to his demise. The girls call that fawning boy and his pals to come help them, but they think it's a booty call. Meanwhile, the dad gets a text that the mongoose did have rabies, and he just goes, GG kids, and just goes back to signing books. Girls leave the pool to go inside for phones and have scary encounters with Ben in there. Ben goes ape mode on one girl, the others fight and then try to drown him in the pool, but he outchimps them in strength. And then the boys come over, straight up invading the house. Ben greets them for more ape mode shenanigans. Then the movie goes disrespect mode, with one of the girls calling the cops in a way that's very reminiscent of the real call between law enforcement and Travis's owner during Travis's attack on Carla. Then Pops comes home and calls for his family because he's deaf. And, he didn't know all the shenanigans is going on. Then The dad goes apeshit on Ben. The short king just tries to defend himself and almost wins, but the family combos up. Lucy distracts Ben and pops straight up shanks Ben. Ben goes ape mode one last time, but didn't mind his surroundings. In a very Shakespearean manner, the tables turn and Ben tragically falls for the move he pulled on Nick. Lucy flips him and he gets impaled on a pole. In one last act of revenge, Ben possesses his speaking spell to curse Lucy, or the cops just personally hate her, and the movie sharp cuts. The end. Time for the overview. The movie tries to be a tropey scarefare while also being a sincere look into the real dangers of ape cohabitation. It frames the movie around scientist parents, one that dies from cancer and the other one writing books, living with a chimpanzee alongside two daughters. The older sister brings friends home from school as the dad leaves to do a book tour, and their pet chimp, Ben, is infected with rabies. Death ensues. The moral of the story is don't cohabitate with chimps, I guess. It's something I can get behind, though, for multiple reasons. One, for their own sake, we should leave them alone in their natural habitats. They've evolved in the jungles of the Congo, and they are suited for that life. Second, they're emotionally and intelligently complex creatures, like us. They have social circles, and without that, several unknown factors can complicate their psychology. An example being hierarchical roles. If a baby chimp grows up with a family, and grows up to have a fight with the dad over food and beats the shit out of him, he just won the battle for the house. All the food belongs to it now. I said chimps are complex, but not as complex as us. They are dangerous and stupid compared to adult humans, which should go without saying. But that's just a hypothetical example of how cohabitation can go wrong. The movie explores rabies, but you could live with a chimpanzee its whole life and nothing go wrong, but for the fact that it is not living in a climate and condition that it was meant for, like us living in modern society. Work culture, as I'm sure we all know, is very unnatural. Humans should be getting midday naps and be naked for proper aeration of our skin. We should live in warm climates, unlike, say, Canada, where I live. But we change things up, as is our own contradictory nature. And hey, if the chimp wants to do that too, that's cool, but it should be up for them to decide, not us. So ultimately, the movie is schlock, pretending to be more than that. It ends without a real message, other than the one I created, and that's about it. So would I recommend this movie? For teens, I guess. That's a major point I guess I haven't talked about yet, but the movie is just about teens for teens. Like, they don't really say anything about, like, the concept of chimpanzees, the whole movie. They're just taking care of an animal, basically. So yeah, if you're a teen, watch this movie. For kids and adults and elderly, you can skip it, because you're not going to gain any insights about primates in the movie called Primate. And that's it. That's your boy, Van Joe, the monkey bro. Joe Van's son, he's dead. I've taken over his channel. That's it for me. Whatever he used to say. What did he say? Sleep well, fellow primates. Yeah, that's it. All right. And until next time, guess I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.